Hey, Capricorn. Yes, this is you. And I have to say, one of the most difficult times, I know it's not bad, it's not, but one of the most difficult times that we all have to deal with, one of the most difficult transitions is when things have been going really, 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 really well. Like so well, we don't even know where the well came from. But in your case, the well came from manifestation and hard work, and that's what it did. Because with Saturn in Capricorn for most of the year, there was a deep inquiry into, is this good enough? And if it's not, do it again and do it over with. Do it over. And there was a sense of living up to that potential and living up to that draconian scrutiny that is beneficial. And really now the bounty is starting to come to you. And that's not stopping. But the particulars of life, which Saturn does control, time, the 3D world, they don't always come, they're not perfect, right? That, like, linking everything up, syncing everything up. There's this wonderful beauty to the imperfection of life that really is so important for you to be reminding yourself of at this time. Because at this time, you're going to start to see, excuse me, almost reality setting into your dream world. Like when you've been having it so good and things have been on the upswing, and now it seems like they're plateauing or confusion is coming back in. You'll still see the upswing, but there's sort of a rattle in the chain, or there's a ticking where there wasn't before. And where's that coming from? In other words, it's back to there is work to do. You have this wonderful grand trine that was through the end of last week, and it's still sort of supporting you, making you feel real good, like the 3D is solid and balanced up through the beginning of this week. But then it gets really watery, really emotional, and really almost flaky. And that's the energy that you start to go into, which is not necessarily bad energy. It's not bad energy, but it is different. And the ground doesn't feel as solid. And you guys have been really, really good at learning how to walk on the sand and get that sand between your toes and deal with the ebb and flow. But there is this sense of, I don't want you to get paranoid. I don't want you to think, oh, everything good that's been happening is now coming to an end. This is not an ending. This is a continuation of. This is just a little bit of reality getting mixed into the dream. That's what it is. It's really that. Now, there could be this sense this week of basically just finding out where you fit, like how all the pieces fit together, feeling a little bit pulled in different directions. That isn't something bad. It's not something attacking you or something crumbling apart at all. It's still wonderful because it is still something is coming together. There's just this sense of feeling scattered. And that could be a testament to the fact that you're now so much more in tune with the energy that's going on around you. But you do, man. You have a lot to come together. And it seems like there's a lot that it's almost like you didn't notice some things were broken. And now the breaks are quite evident. And so, okay, now how do I deal with these things? And how do I not let it deplete my soul? How do I not let it make me feel like everything is crumbling down around me? Because it isn't. It's just really so obviously is not. There is just this sense of getting comfortable in a new climate. And, as we get toward the end of September, what happens? That's my dog in the back. The seasons change. So the climate is changing, and you do have some wonderful, really beautiful, romantic Libra energy. And the seasons are starting to change. And so the challenges are going to change. It's like You got these challenges and you like getting into that area where you like getting into the comfort zone. You do. And because that's when you're going to really thrive, when you have got everything, you're familiar with everything, you're certain of everything. Well, guess what? There's still some stuff that's new coming at you. And that's a good thing too, because it's not bad new things. It's good new things. It's just more things to find out, like, hi, like, what do I do with this? If you're a little bit if you're getting headaches, if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, these are all transitional. Now, I'm not talking about it, if you're having really bad stuff happen to you, please get yourself to the doctor. But Capricorn, this is a sense of evaluating, or sort of being magnified, depending on where on the medical spectrum you are. That, not to laugh, but it could just be getting migraines. That's stress and tension. It could just be not migraines, but like getting headaches, or feeling a little bit like it's not as easy for you to keep things together or focus. These are all signs of transition, all signs of the body catching up with the decisions that your mind has made. They're all signs of breaking oneself down in order to rebuild. You are definitely going through a change. And maybe at least some of you have kind of stood on the precipice, right? And looked out over the change, and you have been contemplating it, but now you're starting to hear the precipice crack. And that seems like doom and gloom. It's not. It's Capricorn. You gotta fucking make the move. You gotta just decide to trust and decide to go with your heart, because this really is a time when it is a head over heart decision. It is a faith over fact mentality. There's so much Piscean energy around us. There's so much very prominent Gemini energy that's guiding the way, and that can seem fragmented and flaky, but it really is calling us to learn and open ourselves up to something new, and be challenged in an intellectual capacity as well as a conceptualizing and psychic capacity, to trust in those, to not only be able to play around with those things we're conceptualizing, but trust that we can make it real. Believe in our dreams. She's very persistent. I love you. I love you. She's such a little shithead. She's not going to give up. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? So this is still trying to find those bits and pieces of where they all fit in. This is not bad. This is a sense of you're dealing with a lot of new things. You're dealing with a lot of understanding and realizing different aspects of yourself. Okay, now where do they all fit in, and how do they all work together? And do I even trust them all to begin with? And no, you don't have to trust them all right now. You have to give yourself the time to get familiar with them, but you can't ignore them. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yes, believing in your dreams. Like literally, Capricorn, this is a sense of you finding the courage to believe that, yes, all these pieces can somehow fit together. It may seem a lot right now. And normally maybe you would have just hacked stuff off and gotten rid of it and not even considered it. But guess what? That's not where you're at now. You're realizing, no, in other words, you're ready for like those 16-sided Rubik's Cubes, and not just the traditional Rubik's Cubes. You're leveling up, and you're starting to see that you do have more space, and your heart is bigger than you thought it was. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. This is the full moon energy. Do you see in the back? So allowing yourself to be a little bit hedonistic, it's calling to you. There's also a sense of change is happening in the form of partnership. Different lives are being found ways to piece them together. How do these pieces fit? So it may not be just your pieces that you're fitting together. It very well may be, how does your life and my life connect? or how do I bridge between our differences? Those kind of energies are calling you, and they're going to be challenging this week because emotions are going to be running high, and maybe even conversation about those emotions are going to be running high, even if you don't really want to talk about it, even if it at other times would have been easier to not discuss things. You need to change that. These things need to be out on the surface. They need to be dealt with, and they need to be taken seriously in a way that I think a lot of times somebody as practical minded as you keep pushing them aside, keep pushing them aside, keep pushing them aside, because it's not about paying the mortgage. It's not about getting the kids off to school. It's not about keeping food on the table. So it's not important, but that's a bunch of bullshit, because all of this is really important, and it's what you're going to be swimming in over the next week or so. Mintaken. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So this is definitely an exploration and a redefinition of your home and heart space, which is that Cancerian energy, the opposite house from you, domestic living, domestic feelings, understanding that is important too. And it could very well mean that your home is changing, or dynamics in your home are changing, especially where it concerns a partner that you're dealing with. How are you being called to step up and lead? To be bold, to be courageous, to have faith. And now this card would not have come out if it wasn't okay for you to take the lead, if it wasn't in some situations expected that your display of leadership right now is going to be received as you finding it important. In other words, it's going to be like, okay, and now I know that Capricorn is taking this seriously because they're prioritizing this. You know what I'm saying? That where normally maybe you might have wanted to back away and just try to be comfortable with things going with the flow. It's almost going to be emotionally, somebody is going to need you to demonstrate your sense of leadership and control, because that's what's going to show them, hey, they really care. Really interesting. I wanted to channel some spirit animal energy. I got an interesting combination. Lynx, keeper of secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. See, this is all about observing and taking the facts as puzzle pieces, trying to figure out where they belong, but also just not judging. There is that sense of there doesn't have to be a judgment as part of this process. And in fact, if you make judgments, especially moral judgments, which can be condemning, there is that sense of putting boundaries where they don't belong and causing yourself trouble and hardship where there doesn't have to be. It's going to, you need this sort of open mindset. It's like open mindset, but it's down to business again. So there's no time for character judgments or assessing what is right and wrong, just what works, what doesn't, and how do we make it work together? Because that's what you're really working with. It's like all these ingredients now that you're not familiar with are on the table. It's almost like that show Chopped. You're working with this now. Figure it out. Don't sit there and say, no, I don't want to use that. That's not my favorite ingredient. I don't want to use that. No. This is all somehow can work together and be delicious, and you would not have been given this challenge if you were not up to it. Elk, nobility. Check this out. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limited. So this is a beautiful abundance of opportunity and prosperity. By keeping your mind open, you'll be able to see the way forward very clearly. And it also, is a testament to your, it's a testament to your integrity. Hold on. I'm going to get into the main reading. So this is a really interesting array of cards, really interesting combination. And I think fly on the wall mentality is really good in some situations. Let's put it this way. You ever heard, dude, remember a long time ago the Real World used to be on MTV? And it's like when people stop being nice and start getting real, Even though that show was as fake as fuck, there's that mentality that is absolutely true for this week. There's a sense of shit just got real. It's got a little bit difficult. There is a sense of, oh, you're not feeling the love as strong as you needed to. And there might be strings being pulled. There is that sense of working with what you have and not becoming disappointed when there's not that influx of, this is emotional. This is personal. This has got nothing to do with career yet. I just want to let you know. Because somebody just got real. That kisses, stop. She's so funny, but I can't hear. Somebody just got real. Somebody like literally isn't okay. I don't want to worry you guys because it's not about you, and it's not all of a sudden they're going to be criticizing you. It's all of a sudden you're going to start seeing the dirty underwear in the closet. It's all of a sudden you're going to start hearing the farting. You know, even if the door in the bathroom is closed, it's like, what just came out of that person? You know, all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, holy shit, maybe there's not as much money in the bank. Not that there's not money, but there's not as much money in the banking account. Or things aren't as good as they seemed to be. Now, you could be having some issues like with your lung area, maybe genitalia issues, because I have Scorpionic energy, I have Gemini energy, but there is a veil that is dropping. So whatever you were able to hide and maybe keep from people or keep under wraps and not talk about and pretend like everything was okay, guess what, Capricorn? You can't pretend this shit away anymore. This shit is coming out and is going to get really, really real. So just the sense of like, stop. I'm just like, stop. She wants my attention so badly, but so you see Gemini energy is in reverse and Scorpio energy is in reverse. So there is that sense of something that we don't want to deal with, something that could be painful, something that we were trying to ignore or hide or keep to ourselves, hold to ourselves, not to talk about. All of that is coming out. So it could very well be like test results we were trying to keep from somebody, or it could be just those dynamics of our personality that are harder to deal with, all of a sudden now they're coming out. And if we're in a new relationship, there is a sense of, holy shit, is this person still going to love me? I will say this to you. That is when the person actually starts to love you. Like when you really start to get real with each other and there's just honesty and truth that you have with each other. It's not about being pretty all the time. It's not about keeping the face on all the time. It's not about, and this dynamic, it could apply to work, but I'm telling you right now, it's got a lot more. It's got personal written all over it. There's emotional here. There's worried about somebody that you love, worried about somebody that you care about, judging you or being critical of them, because stuff is all coming. It's coming out on all sides, you know. So really interesting energy, really interesting, and kind of energy that you can't avoid. And you're not supposed to avoid it. This is Cancerian energy. You're transitioning. You're transitioning from the honeymoon phase of whatever you were working on to the realistic phase of whatever you're working on. And it does, with Cancerian energy around, I have to say, during the channeled message, it had to do with the frickin' fourth house. It had to do with where you are living, how you are living, and your family dynamics. So be prepared for that. This is also Libra energy, flying in and trying to get everything to balance, but be peace, make peace. So you yourself could be the transition or could be the bridge for a bunch of fucking craziness happening around you. And it's almost like this craziness comes at just a time when everything was seeming like it was getting peaceful. But you know what? That's the time for you to step up and build those bridges and show and really shine, because you show people that you can build the bridges. This is Libra energy. This is Cancerian energy. Could be very passive aggressive energy where you don't feel like you should step up and speak up. But the truth is, there should just be no judgment involved. There should just be a sense of how do I balance both sides and really try to listen very hard first. We also have more Libran energy, embrace the in-between. This is the murky phase. This is the introduction to the shadow period. This isn't like, it's like just trying to blend. And I know it's like, how do I blend and stand out? You stand out by basically almost being open to other people's ways of doing things. That's how you stand out. Because I don't think people actually expected you to be like that. I really feel like it's going to be like, holy crap, I didn't know that Capricorn could like kind of step back like that. It's almost like leading from behind, if that makes any sense. Bring a gentle touches here. So this is Virgo energy. This is more loving energy, nurturing energy. Something is very new here. It's just started out. You don't expect it to know everything. You don't expect it to be perfect, but God, is it beautiful. And that's the encouraging aspect of this reading that I really want to drive home to you is stuff is really still beautiful here, Capricorn. Things really still do have a lot of abundance here, but there is also a sense of having to heal. And I keep going over that and repeating it. Heal, 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 heal. Something has healing. It's getting back to health. It's getting back to nurturing oneself and others, making sure that health is paramount now. Give with gratitude and grace, because this is a sense of, it's almost like taking too much or having given too much and putting your whole self in, or throwing your whole self like on the fire as if that's the only way to deal with something. This is Aquarius energy. This is a sense of feeling like you've got nothing left. So you really do have to step back a little bit and take some time to just hold on. Giving yourself that time to give with gratitude and grace, receive. You got to give yourself time to receive. That may seem more like it's a passive form of leadership, but this is the thing, especially when you're dealing with relationships, and there's a lot of Libran energy on this table. Okay, when you're dealing with relationships, one of the most profound ways to show that you love is to trust and to have faith and allow somebody else to take care of you sometimes. And I think that that's going to go a long way. I do think there is a little element of maybe you put too much of yourself out there, not in terms of the love, but in terms of expenditure, your own personal expenditure. There is a sense of having to heal that, or having to heal this idea that if you're not willing to put your whole self in all the time, then you're not going to be good enough. This is a more watch, learn, and step up to the plate when you know you're needed. And you'll know when you're needed. There's no way. You're very intuitive. There's no way you're not going to know when you're needed this week. It's going to be pretty obvious. And the quirks and the quirkiness and the imperfections that are coming up, I mean, this could also be, I have to say, somebody that was really fucking shady to you is all of a sudden coming back and trying to make amends, in which case that would be your choice. You don't have to let this person back in. But I also feel like somebody who was real shady to you is now on the chopping block because they've been replaced. So there is a sense of you getting word or notice that whoever you were dealing with that was really derogatory towards you is now more at your level. Interesting, right? Act as if. So this is just you not saying shit, blending as much as you can, and this is the future. So this is you learning how to fit in. This is you learning the steps of figuring out what is required of you in order for you to like not make any waves and get as far as you can in this current situation. There's also this sense of shedding one's skin. So you're ready to transition into a new way of being. So this is a transitional period for you. Let's go on to the angel messages, Capricorn. I want to see what the angels want. I want to say to you. These cards always have such profound meanings. 2 came out, forgiveness and protection. Yeah, somebody is coming back and making amends, or there's just a sense of realizing that grudges to be held, you just can't. You just can't. But I have to say, there is an equilibrium here. There is a balancing, especially if somebody did you wrong. So forgiveness, let the past go. Clear your heart and mind through forgiveness. Clear your heart and mind through forgiveness. Now remember, forgiveness is not condoning somebody for doing something wrong. It's just allowing yourself to be liberated from it affecting you or impacting your life anymore. So there is a sense of you guys are being encouraged, like the angels are almost begging you, let go. But also kind of warning you, saying, there is this moment where you will see different aspects of the things that made you feel uncomfortable are coming back to you this week. And there's this sense of, now you got to let them go. That's the time. That's the time, so that they won't get in your way, especially if you're feeling that fractured sense of self because all of a sudden you feel down where you didn't. Listen, it's that Piscean energy, bringing up those memories, and sort of, I can just see that there's some sort of painful circumstance that you guys got to confront this week. And I have to say, you're going to be all good. Angels are going to surround you, and they're going to protect you and wrap you in their wings of love and light. You are protected. You are protected. You are protected. And that is what's going to make you kind of capable of I feel like you're the protection. It's almost like you're going to be somebody solid right now. You are safe. Do not fear. We are always with you and surround you always with our invisible wings of light. Oh my gosh. Let's get into the tarot card reading. Really interesting getting to the nitty-gritty of what exactly is, basically the dirty details on what exactly is going on here. But this wonderful aspect of you being protected throughout all this time of maybe sadness for somebody else. Let's get into it. The link is below. I'll see you guys over there.